Hello guys, it's Switch here with another Marvel Snap video. And today video, I'm just gonna to talk a little bit about the Series 1 deck. It's about Hulk, so nothing fancy, as you can see, S1 Hulk Smash. So a little bit about the stats first. So as you can see, firstly, I'm still bronze player, so it's not going to be any fancy crazy stuff here, just simply because I just started to play and I just want to take my time. I'm just playing about an hour a day and I'm just going to do the decks, basically the starter decks, because I just feel like it. I just want to create the stuff from Marvel Snap Universe. I'm really excited about the game, and obviously at some point in the future I will be carry on with some super net decks and stuff, but it's gonna take a time. Let's be honest, probably 6 months or more to gather the whole pool from Series 3 decks. So right now, I still have an idea to do the couple of Series 1. I already gather all cards from Series 2 because it's all about like 40 hours of gameplay. So I guess everybody have that collection from Series 2 as well, or maybe not if you just started play. Anyway, so this deck I played recently, as you can see, 22 hours ago, and at the time you're going to see this, probably longer than that. I won 7 games and I didn't lose any game. The score is 7-1 because I tied 1 game. So I'm not going to say because this deck is amazing. One more time, it's Series 1. So sometimes it's just a luck, sometimes it's just people can't stand, you just have like a tempo deck, which you just making lots of points of power on some position, and sometimes you're just quitting. But like I said, sometimes it's 50-50, sometimes you're just lucky, and sometimes you're just winning because this deck is just all about huge power stats. So let's just dive to the deck itself. Obviously, you have the deck code in the description, in the video description, because my editing skills, let's be honest, they're not really good. So I don't really know how to edit the video yet. The idea is probably to later on in the future, when I'm going to start to play the net decks, just to do one a game, like one brilliant game throughout, like let's say a couple of hours playing the game. But that's like an idea maybe for next year. Right now I'm just spending about like half an hour or an hour, so let's just dive to it. So the deck itself, we're playing the Korg. The Korg is just amazing card in every deck because just simply you just shuffle a rock into your opponent deck. So, and the rock is useless. Most of the times it's useless in some scenario like a destroy decks, or maybe some aggro decks you can still buff this or have the advantage of actually playing this card. In most cases this is like super useless, so you are super happy to play the Korg in the first turn just to give that sweet rock to our opponent. Then we have the Mantis in this deck because we just like to have another extra card. This is like the toss of the coin because in some cases we just don't have anything from that, but in like 50% chance we have value from obviously drawing a card from the opponent deck, so that's why we're running this. Yondu because it's just amazing card. It's just amazing card on the reveal, destroy the top card of your opponent deck, so it doesn't really matter. We are going to play this either on the first turn or the 5th turn. You will still destroy the top card of your opponent deck, and you never know what you're gonna hit, and sometimes you're just hitting that sweet spot where you're actually removing some 6 energy card, which is really important to the opponent. So this card is really great. Cable, another great card because it's a tempo, a super value card. We playing 2 energy drop, which is maybe not super powerful, but at the end of the day, we're drawing the top card of your opponent deck, and usually we end up with having a card to playing the another turn, which is turn 3 or 4. Medusa. Medusa is super great, amazing card, especially for those Series 1 decks, obviously, because there's going to be much better choices in the future. But right now, this is like one of my favorite cards in the like Series starter decks, just simply because we have most likely the card for 5 power just for 2 energy. If this is at the middle location, is getting +3 power, so nothing more to it, just a straightforward card. Obviously, it's a shame it needs to be on the middle position, but sometimes we're just taking the advantage of doing the distraction of the middle position, and we don't really care anymore because at the end of the day, it's 5 power stat, and they have to deal with it. They need to get that 6 power stats at least on that position. Then we have the Domino, because this deck is not all about the Hulk itself. It's more like it about doing the tempo, on one position, and then trying to smash with the Hulk on the other position. So yeah, as you can see, the filler to the decks, especially for those starter decks, if you don't really have much of the 2 energy drops, or you don't really know what you're supposed to put, this is like always in my mind, it's like a really good choice. Domino is really sweet card for some decks and a really good filler, because always on the turn 2 we are going to draw this, so we don't have to be afraid to not having the drop on the second turn, which is great, especially if this is the only 2 energy drop. It's not in this case because we have a couple of those, but I'm going to do a deck with Domino soon, and I think so it's going to be just only this card with 2 energy drop. Okay, we're just gonna jump to another card, which is like super random card, but this deck, the idea was to creating this deck to having a fun as well, because at the end of the day, and especially on the Series 1 decks and Series 2, it's all about having the fun from the game. At least that's my thoughts about this. So this card by no means is not consistent at all, so you shouldn't play this card. But I just like it because sometimes it's just crazy madness on the table. Become a copy of a random card in your opponent's hand. So one more time, a random card. It's not a highest value, highest energy card. It's a random card, so maybe totally not worth it to play this card at all. But sometimes that random card can be actually read by the player. So what I mean by this, like especially when you're playing the Destroy decks, you usually know what's the random card on your opponent's hand, and yeah, this might be massive advantage. And actually on the highlights, I think I'm copy. I mean, I know for sure I'm copy some huge card, but I don't remember the name. So on the Destroy deck, so Morph played on the later on in the game, especially turn 5, it's massive. Turn 3 might be just like useless, so don't try really play this on the turn 3. Maybe that's my advice. Hulkbuster, because well, we're just playing the Hulk deck, right? Well, it's really good stats, let's be honest. And merge this card with a random friendly card at this location is another great thing, because we still will have the access to play another card, and especially we're playing kind of like a tempo cards with low energy curve. So this is going to be like super good to set up, maybe to play something else if we really need to on that location. So that's super good card. I'm just playing. I recommend just playing because it's Hulk. It's a Hulk name, so we're in the deck of the Hulk. There's no really more like a combos with this card here, but still a super great card, don't get me wrong. 3 energy, 5 power. Jessica Jones, Series 1, one of my favorite cards as well on the Series 1. So definitely the Cork, definitely the Yondu, one of my favorite. Medusa, Jessica Jones, Hulk as well. It's amazing because it's just simple and it's Hulk, right? So Jessica Jones is amazing because it's a 4 energy drop and it's so consistent. Honestly, this card I'm going to play on the Series 2 several decks as well because it's super powerful. We're playing cards for 4 energy, and it's not really 4 energy. It's going to be 8 energy for 8 power for 4 energy. Just simply don't play anything on the next turn, which is turn 5 on this location, and you're just fine. You're just good to go. So basically, you either doing the distraction on the location which you don't really want to win, but somehow you might end up winning, because that's basically forcing the opponent to play extra 9 points of power on that location in order to win this. And then on the turn 5, okay, you know what? I just want to win this location, so we're just going to play the Iron Man, which is going to total power. Basically, it's going to double power at this location. So you might decide to play this, or either you're just going to play the Iron Man because you're crazy on the location which you didn't play anything at all, and then opponent don't really know what you're going to do on that location, and you're just going to play the Hulk with a 24 in total power. And sometimes you can just use the Iron Man as a distraction, which sounds crazy because you don't really want to spend 5 energy, and after all you don't want to do anything over there, but sometimes that's the case as well. You're just playing this because you just, I don't know, you just feel like it. This really situational, but sometimes you will have a luck and just the people are going to play lots of cards on that location that you didn't play. You're not going to follow, you know, after Iron Man anything, and then you're just going to have like great time, great laugh, and especially if you're going to pull out this, that's crazy. But you believe me, you can do this. I don't have this one on the highlight, but sometimes that's the case. White Queen, super great tempo card, super great. Because if we actually didn't top deck the Hulk, we don't really have the Iron Man to buff our location twice. So the White Queen, it's really great card. Actually surprised it's like Series 1 card, because this card you can honestly play in any top tier decks just simply because it's copying the highest card in your opponent's hand in your own hand. So I'm definitely going to play this on my Series 2 decks, obviously, and the Series 3 and following, because the power of this card is just unbelievable. Copy the highest card, highest cost card, so you always sure you're actually copying the highest cost card, and later on the ladder you're obviously going to get the people who have access to every card possible, and most likely you're just going to copy some great card like Thanos or whatever, just name it. Whatever you are going to obviously play against. So a White Queen, not here, but definitely in every second deck I will definitely see the place where I can put this card. And then rest of the cards are already mentioned, and then we have the Hulk, just because it's the Hulk deck. And honestly, on the beginning when I start the total starter decks journey with the Hulk, I played much more games with the Hulk, and this card is just simply amazing, because we don't really need to try to trigger or do anything in order to get more stats. It's always 12 stats, and it's just, yeah, it's just amazing because the majority of the cards they're not going to have the 12 stats. And if you actually want to have the 12 stats, you need to discard some cards for the Apocalypse, let's say. So this card is crazy good for the starters and beginners decks. Just simply sometimes you are not going to top deck this, so beware of the Hulk might be just on the bottom on the library. So with that being said, thank you much guys for watching. If somebody actually was watching, obviously just the starter decks, just the beginning of my journey with the Marvel Snap, but I'm super excited. So I will try to do on daily basis one deck and another, and trying to grind obviously to the Series 3 decks. So yeah, with that being said, one more time, thank you much guys for watching, and enjoy some highlights with last games with the Smash Hulk deck, or Hulk and Smash deck. So take care and bye for now.
Hulk. Smash.
Always lucky. Always lucky. What are the odds?
Enough said, bub. I am Iron Man. Victory! Oh, snap!
Right on time.
Got him!
is lucky. is lucky.